went to bleeding races, 'twas on the 9th of June, 1862 on a summer's afternoon. I took the bus to Banbury's and she was heavy laden. Away we went along Collingwood Street, that's on the road to bleeding.
You're watching TOON Army TV. Welcome to the channel. This is the Chelsea versus Newcastle United match preview for the game on Monday night at Stamford Bridge. Kick-off 8 PM in the Premier League. Just before I continue on with the match preview, if I could ask you kindly to do me a massive favour by subscribing to the channel if you're a first-time viewer and you're enjoying the content. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video from yourself. Share the videos around with your friends and family so they are seeing the content for the first time, and you never know, it might just turn some heads. Hit the like button and put your comment down below. Let me know your predicted starting 11s and your score predictions. On with the preview. So the TOON do not have a good record down at Stamford Bridge. It's the fixture that I dread alongside the likes of Manchester City and Manchester United away. We've only won there a few times in my lifetime. Do I expect much to change on Monday night? No. But can Newcastle United win the game? Yes. It all depends on the attitude. It's been a weird season. Anyone can beat anyone, but I do expect Chelsea to win this game on Monday night. But if we go down there with a game plan, then anything can happen. Let's look at Chelsea. They've just progressed to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, beating Barnsley 1-0. Barnsley on another night could have got through. Chelsea, being the side that they are, they got the job done. They do have the quality. In terms of Premier League form, well, they're unbeaten. They've won their last 3 Premier League games. So the confidence will be high. They have just appointed a new manager in Thomas Tuchel, who is doing a good job so far. It's still early days. But Newcastle cannot go down to Chelsea and underestimate this lot. Just because they're not playing the football that we know Chelsea can play. They've been through a bit of a hard time this season with Frank Lampard getting the sack, and I hope that he does find work soon because he is a young up-and-coming manager. But at Chelsea, you don't last 5 minutes with Roman Abramovich in charge. Of course, he's got the money and he wants success. That goes with putting money into a football club. If only Mike Ashley was Roman Abramovich and got rid of Steve Bruce. But that's never going to happen until he sells a football club or we're in the bottom 3. But less of that, Chelsea will look to want to win this game. But it's how we stop them from playing. Now, in terms of our current form, we're very hit and miss. But since Graham Jones has come into the football club, we have definitely turned a corner in terms of the performances, the attitude's been there. And that's what I expect. We don't demand a team that wins. We demand a team that tries. And we've seen that in recent games. If you look at the last 3 games that Graham Jones has been in charge of alongside Steve Bruce, we've been better as a collective. The squad have been 100% on it. Now, Everton was the signs of what was to come. Great result. Just what we needed. It was no win in 11 or 12 games. We played Crystal Palace. Got off to a great start. Just sat in too deep and invited Crystal Palace on. They scored 2 goals and we didn't look like getting back into the game. A real disappointment given what happened to Everton. But then we did, play Southampton and beat them 3-2. As expected, we're at home. And I demand that we'll get 3 points at home. Now, beating Southampton come at a cost. Yes, we've gone 10 points clear of Fulham. Losing Callum Wilson was a big miss. He's going to be a big miss. Scoring 10 goals. Without his goals, we wouldn't be where we are now, which is 16th and 10 points clear. And I wish him a speedy recovery. He's going to be out for up to 6 to 8 weeks. And it's now up to Dwight Gale, Andy Carroll or Joe Linton to step up big time. This is their opportunity that they can't afford to let slip. Because if you look at Joe Linton, Andy Carroll and Dwight Gale, their futures are on the line. Especially Andy Carroll and Dwight Gale when their contracts are running up at the end of the season. Joe Linton, for me, whatever happens, I'd send him out on loan to a championship club. And I don't expect him to start on Saturday, but I wouldn't be surprised if Steve Bruce went against what I said. We're also missing our right back, Javier Manquillo. It's going to be a real shame to see him, missing for up to 6 to 8 weeks. That's what Bruce reported in his press conference. I wish him a speedy recovery. And we've also lost Fabian Schär for the rest of the season. But fingers crossed, he can play some games before the season comes to its conclusion. It's sad because he was coming to his best. The Fabian Schär that we signed under Rafa Benitez, yes, he's had some really poor moments under Steve Bruce, but he was coming back to his own. And he was really giving his all for the club, defending and getting forward. And we're going to miss that. We really are. No questions about it. And I hope it's not his last game. If we can give him a couple of year contract extension, then that would be good. But whatever happens, I hope that he trains hard, he recovers fast, and that whatever happens, he does well at the Euros for Switzerland. Because there's no doubt, he's a good player, but he will be a real miss. And we are down to the bare bones as it is. Steve Bruce was asked about Federico Fernandez and Captain Jamal Lascelles. They are 50-50 for the game on Monday. We're going to need them back, because if they're not playing, if we don't have any cover, it's going to be a real struggle. Because you can't expect Paul Dummett to go full 90 minutes with his recent injury record. Going into the game on Monday, I am confident that we can go toe-to-toe with Chelsea despite losing Callum Wilson, because we do have ASM back in the side who brings so much positivity, energy, into our side, getting forward and making something happen. Almiron grabbing a couple of goals against Southampton. He's back to his best. Hopefully he continues that. He's going to need the service on Monday night. Chelsea are poor at the back. Very good going forward, but they are there to be got at, and we need to try and take advantage of the situation. And Chelsea will be looking at us thinking Newcastle make mistakes, they are defensively poor, and they'll be thinking the same. In terms of my starting 11, I'm not going to go 4-3-3. For me, it's not right to go 4-3-3 against Chelsea, because if we do, we're going to leave ourselves too open. Chelsea are a good side on the counter-attack. They've got players like Timo Werner, who, yes, he's going through a bit of a poor spell. He hasn't scored in ages, but he's a deadly finisher if the service is correct. Mason Mount will be a threat for Chelsea in that midfield. He's a quality player, and someone who, if we don't mark up, if we give him any service, we know what's going to happen. But I could run through their side. And yes, as mentioned defensively, Rudiger is going to be the one to get at. He made that big mistake against Sheffield United, gifting them a goal. But not only that, he's not been great at his time at Chelsea. So there's plenty of opportunity on Monday night if we go there and look to attack. But at the same time, we're going to have to defend, because, like I say, we don't want to be too exposed at the back. We want to give ourselves a chance to play our game, a formation 4-2-3-1 that's comfortable, where we can defend where we need to and get forward. But as mentioned, the service has to be good. And when we are defending, we have to be mentally switched on, because if we defend well, but then if we switch off for just 1 second, Chelsea are in, and 9 times out of 10, they will score. So I don't want to go into the game underestimating them, because I know how good of a side they are, full of quality. And Thomas Tuchel, as mentioned, he's got a plan for Chelsea. It might not be coming off so far in terms of the tick-a-tack of football, but they're still scoring goals and they're still winning games. So we're going to bear that in mind. I don't expect Newcastle to go all guns blazing, but at least go down there and have a go. Now, my predicted 11 for the game on Monday night. So in goal, Carl Darlow. I would have went with Dubravka, but Darlow for me hasn't done much wrong, and I can't see Steve Bruce dropping this lad for the game on Monday night. Left back, Jamal Lewis was much improved against Southampton. We need to see the same against Chelsea on Monday night, just allowing the lad to play his game, put the ball into ASM or Fraser as much as possible. At right back, Emil Kraft was good in parts against Southampton. First half, when he come on, he was a little bit light, but in the second half, he was better in terms of the tackles he was making, body on the line. driving forward, and I wanted to see the same against Chelsea on Monday night. Now, my two centre-backs. First up, Paul Dummett. This lad is better off as a centre-back rather than a left-back. For me, he doesn't really attack that much. Paul Dummett will defend where he needs to. He will put his body on the line and he'll give his all for the black and white shirt. He's organised, he'll communicate, and that's what we're going to need on Monday night, communication. Alongside him, Kieran Clark. He'll be back for this game. Congratulations to him and his wife on their newborn. But solid centre-back. Will give you absolutely everything, on the day. And he's been, for me, an unsung hero this season. And as mentioned before, for his new contract, well deserved. So the two CDMs. First up, Jonjo Shelvey wasn't great against Southampton, but we're going to need him for this game against Chelsea. We're going to need experienced heads. We need to see a 10 out of 10 from Jonjo Shelvey. Those Hollywood balls and trying to make something happen. Alongside him, Isaac Hayden. I want to see him more in a midfield role rather than at the back. He played well against Southampton at centre-back, but we should have enough cover there for Hayden to play in that CDM role, let him get forward, track back in defend and protect the back four. On the left-hand side, Ryan Fraser didn't play any part in the Southampton game that I can remember. A good player for pace who can cut in. He can score goals. He's very good at bringing others into the game. And that's what I want to see on Monday night. Get the ball into Fraser as much as possible. Let him do his work. And you just never know. You might just grab a goal on the counter-attack. On the right-hand side, Alan St. Maximin. We're going to need his energy. We're going to need his trickery. We're going to need his workman-like performance against this good Chelsea side to try and pin them back and get more further forward up the pitch, because we spend too much time without him defending. But we want to go into the game with a mentality of getting to Chelsea, and as mentioned before, Rudiger and the rest of the Chelsea defence are weak at times, and we can exploit that with his pace. In the number 10, I'm going to go with Miggy Almiron. That's his correct position for me. He played well against Southampton. 2 goals, and long may that continue. Hopefully he can continue that on Monday night against Chelsea. And up front, I'm going to go with Dwight Gale for this one. We need to see him on the pitch. We need to see him get a regular run of games now. His pace is going to be crucial against a slack Chelsea defence. He scored against West Brom. He hasn't really been seen much since. But now he needs to grab his opportunity and take it. I don't want to see Andy Carroll or Joe Linton, because for me, they're both too slow. And I don't want to be defending all game. I want to see the lads actually have a go. I don't want to see just balls getting thrown into the box and Chelsea just clearing the lines. I want our attack to put Chelsea under as much pressure as possible. And we'll see where that goes on Monday night. I want to see it be a bit more positive rather than just have an attitude of just sit back. So that is my predicted 11 for the game on Monday night. Let me know yours down below in the comment section. In terms of a score prediction, I'm going to say Chelsea 1, Newcastle United 1. I don't see why we can't go to Stamford Bridge and at least pick up a point. It would be a very good point. Something that we can build on. Keep that unbeaten run going. We need to get on a run of games where we can start pulling clear of the relegation zone. We've got a good enough side. We just need to go into this game with the right mentality, the right attitude, and be more clinical. If we can do that, then there's no doubt we can get something at Stamford Bridge. If we get beat, well, it's going to happen, isn't it? It's expected. We'll move on. We've got bigger fish to fry anyway. We've got games coming up where we can get points. But if we can win, then that would be fantastic. Don't rule it out. I'm not going to rule it out. But I'm split down the middle for a draw, because I'm looking at Chelsea in terms of how they play, the mistakes that they're making, and we can capitalise on that. So that's why I say a draw. But let me know your score predictions down below in the comment section. That is the end of the match preview for Monday night's game. Fingers crossed we can get something and walk away with a positive result. But in the meantime, keep yourselves safe out there. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. Hit the like button. Put your comments down below. Share the videos around with your friends and your family. I do have a morning series out where I talk all things Newcastle United. So if you have any questions that you want to ask me, please feel free to drop them down below and I will give you a shout out on the channel, and it just helps the channel to grow that little bit more. So follow me on social media, TOON TV, Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy. How are the lads?